forward. He's a new goalkeeper. He's fresh. We need to win the game. You're going to be shooting from everywhere. I'd have thought the worst way Scott Carson's going to do the basics of what you do as a goalkeeper in skiddy condition. You get your body behind the ball, and unfortunately he didn't do that. And we're a goal down.
But the whole team they've been abject.
They've been poor. I can't think of anyone out there who has actually played to the standard that we see them on a Saturday in the Premier League. I really can't. The system's not working at all. They're playing too many long balls to Peter Crouch.
Talk about the systems. He changed it when they played Croatia away.
Upbeat.
Generally, lately they've been playing pretty well as a 4-4-2. Why would you suddenly change things? I mean, obviously there's one or two injuries.
He's looked at the result, what result we need, and we need a point to go through. Maybe that's in his thinking. But I did say before the game that I thought the system might suit Gerrard or Lampard. It quite clearly hasn't. I think he has to change it immediately. The defending's been very, very poor. The attacking, there hasn't been any. I think we've had one shot on target, which has come from Sean Wright-Phillips. To me, there's no urgency. We're getting free kicks. We're walking 10 or 15 yards back nice.
They're very comfortable on the ball.
Letting them get into their positions, letting them get well organised, instead of getting on the ball and having a little bit of urgency. It takes someone out there to actually get the crowd going. If it takes someone to go and rattle someone, go and bring someone down with a foul, just to get the crowd up, try and get some enthusiasm into it, because at the moment, so flat and dead, it's incredible.
I'm going to try and be positive because Roy wants me to be positive. But you can cite the pitch. We cited the pitch before the start. You can cite the system and how bad the system is. But if you'd been totally pragmatic about the first half, you'd have to say devoid of class, quality, organisation. But the biggest thing is devoid of fight. The 45 minutes of the first half.
How could that be? Why? They're going out so flat in a game of such importance and significance.
It's strange when we
because they've let the goal get to them.
Yeah,
the first 5 minutes was the best in the first half that they played, and then the goalkeeper makes a catastrophic error, right? And the heads suddenly go down, and they've never got up again.
Yeah. The fear factors.
It is. The players actually look scared out there. I mean, as Alan said, 5 minutes, okay. After the goal, it just needs someone to get this game by the scruff of the neck and say, hey, hang on a minute, lads. That 45 minutes was nowhere near good enough for an England team at Wembley in front of 90,000.
When you've got a chance to go through. When you've been handed a chance to
for what's at stake.
Well, you've got to make changes before you start.
Yeah.
You've got to go back to two.
Crouch
right, or take Crouch off and bring two men that are relatively quick on. And then go 4-4-2 and
have
again,
a go.
but you have a go. But
you can do all that if you're not going to get in there like you want to win a game and get around people. And Croatia look like they're at home. You're not going to get around people and force them into things. We're not playing like we need to win this game. We're playing like we're waiting for something to happen from someone else.
Croatia have had it too easy. There's no England player at any time getting it in amongst them. They're standing 5 and 10 yards off and let them play nice and comfortable, play passes out the back four. Someone's got to get up there and get in amongst them.
We've all played in big games where it's gone wrong for you.
Yeah.
Everyone is, right? What you've got is you've got to have leaders. Somebody, like he says, has got to take the game by the scruff of the neck. The manager must be positive. The manager must sit in that dressing room and give a speech like no other speeches, and then change it and make sure that when he changes it, he gets it right this time. Because obviously he stands or falls by what he thinks is right, and in the first half he's got it totally wrong.
And his big selection was the goalkeeper, and he made a terrible error.
Well, nobody said that it was ever going to be easy for Scott Carson, but unfortunately for him, he really hasn't touched it in the first 5 or 6 minutes, and then this happened. And I agree entirely with Ian Wright, who says it's all about technique here. Can't blame the pitch here in the slightest. It's all about technique. You've got to get your body behind it.
What did we say before the game? We said about the pitch. Now, Croatia have looked at the pitch and they've thought, new goalkeeper, debut, massive game. Tell you what to do. Anyone within 20 or 30 yards, what I want you to do is, Bilic would have been saying to him, the manager, have a shot on goal and test him and see what he's made of. Now, I mean, his arms are to the right of him, I think. He doesn't get his whole body behind the ball.
It's bound to have had an effect.
Well, he looks shell-shocked. He really does. That was a bad kick-out, could have led to another goal. And then the chance late on, 20 yards out, he's got to do better.
His confidence is shot there. You could see that.
Would you take him off? Well,
I think
that's a major decision again.
I think David James is you've got to do it. The goalkeeper now, even if we get back into this game, you're worried about anything that's going in and around the goalkeeper. Can you imagine how how's Jolene Les got feel? How's Michael Richards feel? Wayne Bridge? You know, of course, Sol's got the experience, but there's a lot of nervousness around.
It's been the story.
The other thing is that, you know, we said at the top of the programme, it's all right defending the 18-yard line like they were in Russia and they were magnificent, but the minute you start coming up, that's when you know how good your defence is. And at the minute they've started to come up, they've looked ordinary. It's
goalkeeping errors have just summed up England's campaign, really, in the big games.
Well, we've been struggling, haven't we? For goalkeepers.
This was a freak. But
that's over there when we played them. All right, I mean that.
It's happened to him at a time when he's having a nightmare as well.
He's having a bad time. He's there, but it's what happens when you have bad times. Sometimes it goes from bad to worse.
And he was having a bad time at Tottenham when this happened against Russia. He's got to deal with that better.
They're the only 3 games, ironically, that England have conceded in.
And the mistakes. Unfortunately,
I don't think it was controversial replacing Robinson, but you know, it's such a big test for a guy at 22 years of age. All right, David James has made mistakes before for England, but he's had a great season at Portsmouth. You know, and again, you stand and fall by what you think is right, and he's got it wrong.
Massive.
And then it went from bad to worse. I mean, defensively, England have struggled as a unit.
Well, as I said to you, the minute you start coming up the pitch is the minute you know that if you're organised, you've got pace and quality. First of all, Lescott's got to go and deal with that. He's got to win that. And then secondly, now you look how many white jerseys are back there. It's 6 against 2, right? A pub team is going to do better than this. Sol's got to get across. Then everybody goes to sleep. Wayne Bridge in a terrible position. And you're 2 down.
Sean's got to stay with him.
He's got to go with him.
He can see his man from a long way out, and Sean Wright-Phillips has to stay with his man there. I mean, it's all right us sitting here and criticising Scott Carson, but defensively as well, I mean, it's been so poor as well as this goal will sum it up. He's ran from the halfway line, and he's ran, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 yards there. Has anyone got a touch to that ball? No, they haven't. And you've got 2 or 3 England defenders there standing watching, and they've been punished again, and it's exactly what they deserve in that first half. And I mean, us sitting here, I mean, that's so hard to say that England at this time are getting what they deserve. They're getting beat 2-0, and
it's probably the worst 45 minutes you'll ever see. Now, the problem for the manager is it's not just one department that's struggling; it's everywhere, right across the board. They are toiling like you'll never. And you know, I'm watching. You mentioned Gerrard and Lampard, like 2 so experienced internationals. They've got to get in there and, you know, and give them something, like to get everybody else going, because that's what you need. You need somebody to go in there. And
well, you're talking about someone to go in there. I'm just hearing in the earpiece that Defoe and Beckham are coming on for Barry and Wright-Phillips. What do you think of those changes?
Well, they were
going to 4-4-2.
They were 2 of the big calls that before the game that he chose not to play. I said on Friday night I thought he would have played Defoe with Crouch, irrespective of whether we need a point.
Well, it gives you a threat behind, which is when England don't have that, they struggle.
Absolutely, we haven't got in behind them at all. I know the pitch might be playing a part, that it might be hard for balls to stay onto the pitch if you're going to try and fizz them through, but at least now, when we're playing the ball up to the front man, there's going to be someone around them, because there's been far too many long, straight balls into Crouch, which, all right, you might have won them, but there's no one actually getting on the end of them. So that says to me that the system from the midfield is not working.
England haven't created too many chances. The first of a couple fell to Sean Wright-Phillips.
This was a very good chance, and when it builds up, I think Peter Crouch does brilliant. He stretches. And as he stretches, he just toes it in. And I really do think that Sean could hit that first time. But he's just getting it, and he's hit it at that height. Of course, he's hit the target, but he's hit it at that height was quite a comfortable height.
He's got to hit it first.
I think if he hits that first time, he's going to catch the goalkeeper a little bit more of surprise.
If he hits it there, when he takes that touch there, not only does he give the defender a second to get back, he also gives the goalkeeper a chance just to set himself. And you see the goalkeeper get his legs a yard or 2 apart, and he's got himself set with his hands up. If he hits it first time, he doesn't get the time.
That's it, 0-0 as well. This is great play by Richards. Gets in. Crouch comes to the near post.
I think he's gone with the wrong foot now. I'm thinking, why is he letting that come across his body to try and tuck it away with his left?
I would make the point here is, look at it, we've only got one person in the box. We've got him behind them. which we haven't done many times, and we've got one person in the box who's trying to threat that goal. One striker and one in the box, and that ain't good enough.
England have it all to do. Let's pause briefly to bring you news of other vital European qualifiers tonight. With all the info, Jake Humphrey.
Thanks very much, Gary. Well, if things stay as they are at Wembley, England will need a nigh-on miracle this evening from Andorra. The European minnows, who've lost their last 29 European qualifiers, will need to get a result against Russia. Watching that game for us is Roger Johnson.
At half-time, it's Andorra 0, Russia 1. The home defenders held a white wave of Russian pressure at bay until 7 minutes from half-time, when Dmitry Saichev rose bravely to nod a right flank cross past Alvarez in the Andorra goal. To that point, he'd made a string of solid stops, and Alvarez did the same just after the visitors went ahead, saving a penalty from Denis Kolodin. Russia know they have to win to overhaul England, and Andorra haven't managed a single shot. So while technically there's still hope, Steve McLaren shouldn't bank on any get-out-of-jail card here. Half-time, Andorra 0, Russia 1.
Thanks very much, Roger. Now, I know it's not nice to look at, but let's take a quick look at Group E. As you can see, Croatia, they've already qualified there at the top. If the results both at Wembley and in Andorra stay as they are, Russia have pipped England to the second qualifying spot. Right, let's turn our attention now to Group F and Northern Ireland's heroic attempt to be at next season's European Championships. Nigel Worthington's men had to beat Spain in Spain and hope that Latvia can spring a surprise against Sweden. Two truly remarkable results. I can tell you there was only one goal in the game in Gran Canaria, and watching the match for us was Jackie Fullerton.
He's hit it well, he's hit it very well indeed. What a finish. 7 minutes into the second half, and Xavi has the finish. He got the first goal in Belfast a year ago when Northern Ireland beat the Spanish by 3 goals to 2. This goal is like a dagger through the hearts of Northern Ireland. Mike Taylor, onside perhaps, it took a touch on the way through.
Well, look at that, an unlucky goal. And confirmation that Northern Ireland's slim hopes of qualification have ended with that 1-0 defeat in Spain. They had hoped to finish second, but will actually end up in 4th place behind Sweden and Denmark, who are both on course for victories this evening. I just can quickly tell you that the other home nation in action this evening are Wales. They're currently 0-0 against Germany. In Germany, they're midway through the second half. Right now, though, time to hand back to Gary Lineker and a very nervous Wembley Stadium.
Thanks, Jake. Yes, England have a mountain to climb in the second half. They've made a couple of changes and a change to the system, no doubt. 4-4-2, Defoe alongside Crouch.
Well, at least he's done something. He's done something that he's gone positive. As bad as England were in the first half, we all know that one little thing, one little bit of luck can change things dramatically. You get a goal, you get a bit of inspiration from somewhere. Everybody on the pitch, the 11 players in that white jersey, respond to that, and also you give the crowd something to shout about. You get the crowd going, and before you know it, you're back in the game.
That's the big thing for me. We have to try and get the crowd back on side, give them something to shout about. Obviously, a goal will do that. Just try and create something.
It's going to be the greatest comeback of all time.
It's not over yet. It's going to be very difficult, but it'll be the comeback of all comebacks.
It will be.
Well, what a story for Beckham if he scores a hat-trick.
He's had a few moments in his career. That will be something special. Greece, of course, that magic free kick on the final seconds was, of course, 2-2. They came from behind on that occasion. Can England possibly do it again? Let's rejoin Mark Lawrenson and John Motson.
So David Beckham is going to win his 99th cap for England. Being wished all the best by the other substitutes. He's coming on, as you said, with Jermaine Defoe, Gareth Barry and Sean Wright-Phillips off. And goodness, when I was looking back at half-time on the first goal, Peter Shilton took a lot of criticism for the goal we showed by Poland in 1973 here. He went on to become the best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion, so let's hope Scott Carson can put that behind him.
Number 16, Jermaine Defoe. Also coming off number 10, Sean Wright-Phillips, been replaced by number 17, David Beckham.
There's a huge cheer to welcome Beckham into what will be a 4-2-4 or 4-4-2, depending how you look at it, Mr. Lawrenson.
I think it's 4-4-2 for now, John. As the longer the game goes on in England chase, it will develop to 4-2-4.
Are we going to see one of the most dreadful nights that England